Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Freedom Friday here on the Ohio Patriot Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host here, the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode of Freedom Friday, we are going to talk about how Kyle Rittenhouse has officially lived long enough to see himself become the villain at the age of 21 now. And why Ohio Governor Chris Dorr is also a pretty big hypocrite in this entire situation over the Rittenhouse stuff that we're going to talk about here momentarily. Also, why Dudley Brown from the National Gun Rights Group, aka NAGR, needs to fuck off forever. So it is, dude. Like, seriously, who the hell calls their gun rights org NAGR, dude? Like, Jesus Christ, Dudley. Racist much, motherfucker? But yeah, it's the literally his thing stands for its, what is the actual emblem of the damn thing? Yeah, there's National Association for Gun Rights. And what's interesting when you look into that whole group, there's what it is. I talked to people about this in the past, and we were discussing specifically Dudley Brown's what it was. And then also other people that are pretty big grifters in the Second Amendment is what it is here. And how Dudley is basically more or less Michael Bloomberg, but to a lesser extent, because of Bloomberg, being an anti-gun sack of shit, he'll make up shell corporations and then funnel money into those shell corporations, whether it be Mamas Main Action, claiming that they're, volunteers and they're paid employees, what it is there, et cetera, et cetera. The only real difference between that and Dudley Brown is he'll take the money in, never really do nothing for Second Amendment rights in this country, except for like the last, 6 months to a year now, give or take, when he finally realized, like, oh shit, people are catching up to the grift now is what it is. And so he is starting to do lawsuits here and there, like one or two is what it is, though. Not a whole bunch of them, though. Like FBC has done, or like GOA has done in the past, or whatever. I'm also going to call out GOA on that one, too, for that matter. Because people seem to forget that, too, as well, dude. Like, do people not realize that when the Republican Party dropped their platform here recently, right before the RNC, that you had Luis Valdez, the chapter head for the Florida version of Gunners of America, called out there and was like, oh, we're not going to vote for Trump now. And it's like, because they're like, oh, we're too absolutist, all this other bullshit like that. And it's like, no, you're fucking dumbasses, because you're taking an entire voter block of people away from either major candidate in the race, when there's really only two major candidates in this race, dude, 100%. It's Trump versus whoever the fuck you want to put in there's Democrat, whether it be Kamala or whoever the fuck else at this point now. So, yeah, it's just dumb to take that whole voter block away is what it is there. Because you want to sit there and be like, oh, it's either support the Second Amendment or whatever. It's like, dude, they do. They just did it to a lesser extent is what it is. And again, like I've said before, like, would you rather have a fucking political party be like, okay, we're going to do this streamline-ass thing with Second Amendment rights, where it's just like, yes, we support 2A in its entirety, or whatever the case be, or would you really have them go on this whole fucking tirade, where it's like 5-6 pages long of like, we're going to do this, and this, and this, and this, and this when we take back the House and the Senate and the presidency, and all that crap like that. When literally in the past, they have shown their fucking colors every single time, dude, when they've done none of that stuff. Like, that's the entire point, dude. Really, it's stop voting for old rhino sacks of shit like Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham, etc., dude. Stop putting career politicians back into power. Hell, stop voting for people who have been in politics for longer than a fucking decade. If they've been in politics at the state level for a decade or more, dude, do not vote them into fucking federal politics at that point. Do not vote them into federal Congress or Senate, for that matter. Vote in everyday people. Start financially backing everyday people that actually give a fuck about the Second Amendment, that actually give a fuck about the Bill of Rights of the U.S. Constitution that our founding fathers actually wrote. Because that's something people don't realize, dude. Anything past the first 10 pretty much has nothing to do with our founding fathers at all in this country, dude. The 14th was not the founding fathers, dude. That was like Lincoln's administration and their fucking time period there in the 1800s was there. Same thing with like the, 11th, 12th, 13th, stuff like that is what it is there. It was all things that were after our founders, dude. They wrote the Bill of Rights. That is why I call myself a Bill of Rights constitutionalist. because I understand the founding of this country, what it was founded upon. And the thing is, there's a lot of people out there that will talk a lot of shit and be all like, oh, support guns entirely, yet they're the same fucking pussies who won't actually go out there and do something to fucking fix the current problem in this country right now. Which, by the way, it wouldn't take the Civil War to fix. It would take a goddamn revolution at this point, dude. I'm just going to fucking say it like it is, honestly. But no, people are too chicken shit to actually do something like that. That's what it is, dude. Because they know they either be killed immediately and possibly be a martyr for the cause, or they would just die in vain is what it is then. And until you get that percentage points up to where there's enough people that are like, no, you know what, that's the only fucking solution kind of thing at this point. You know, there's no point, is what it is, dude. There's no point in arguing about it then. So, anyway. But yeah, I find it very interesting how people are dragging Rittenhouse because he's basically talking about refusing to vote for Trump and trying to vote for, like, writing candidate Ron Paul, basically, at this point. It's like, you can tell the thing is, though, he's clearly reading off of a fucking, like, scripted speech is what it is, dude, which is even more kind of disgusting, honestly. And yeah, there's a lot of people dragging him for it, rightfully so. Again, like, people have said this for years now. Rittenhouse is not the smartest kid, man. He really isn't, honestly. And if nothing else, like, this just proves it more and more, for that matter. So I'm trying to find something right this second. Can have somebody put something in one of these things. Yeah, the people were talking about Dudley Brown using Rittenhouse as a scapegoat. And that's the thing. Apparently, I guess Rittenhouse has been working with Dudley Brown in the Rocky Mountain Gunners organization there, which is an offshoot of the NAGA organization, is what it is there. So I think Honda's actually part of that Rocky Mountain Gunners org, if I'm not mistaken. Which, again, they're the ones that do stuff at a state level is what it is there. And it's like, it's the same thing with a lot of these organizations, though, dude. It's like you either have like a national footprint in one org, and then it's like, it's kind of like what I'm trying to make the network into is what it is, where it's, you know, the main thing would actually be like Ohio Patriot Education Network would be like the hub group is what it is for like a national organization potentially at some point. And then it would be everything else would be like subcategories and stuff like that, or it would essentially be like, here's like the main disc or whatever, and there's all like the spider webs out to other groups is what it is there. Which is exactly what Michael Bloomberg's done for decades now, with you know, having every town be that like main thing. Then it's, you know, Mom's main over here, students main over there, Bree campaign over there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Plus also what it is there, and it's like all these different like little subgroups is what it is there to fight against the Second Amendment and people's gun rights in this country. So, anyway. But yeah, so basically what happened was, like I said, you had Rittenhouse go off on a whole thing here. Let me see if I can figure. I'm trying to see if Rittenhouse's name is still trending right now. Oh, by the way, that's what's even more fucked up too. So, as much as I dislike Logan Paul, I'll actually give the guy props for once, because he called out how fucked up the shit was at the Olympics the other day, where that chick basically got her face beat in for almost a minute by some biological male. And I guess Val Venus, the wrestler from Val Venus, Sean Morley, was also calling that stuff out. And of course, you have a bunch of fucking retards and that are the so-called fan base in the wrestling industry here is what it is. Basically shit-talking these men for calling this disgusting behavior out is what it is, of biological males beating shit out of women is what it is there, dude. And it's like, no, man, y'all are the fucking problem 100% in that one. Like, you're the fucking villains, people, seriously. So, you're the fucking cunts in this whole situation. But anyway, but yeah, Kyle fucked up big time here, because you have a lot of people basically calling him out for what he said. Here's what it is. Chad Prather, who I believe was I want to say he ran for Texas governor here a couple years ago, and has been like a known dude in like the circles and stuff like that. I want to say his claim to fame is some kind of like I don't know if it's a podcast or maybe he was a vet or something at some point, and they started doing podcast stuff. I know him from podcasting. I know that for a fact. But I feel like he was also like a known voice before that for some other reason or something. But yeah, he basically called out Rittenhouse a couple hours ago. He said, "Oh well, Kyle, regret to inform you that I will no longer be one of your guests at the September 12th at the Texas gun rights event." Which, by the way, that's another thing. Kyle is actually the face of Texas gun rights organization right now, dude. So he fucked up huge on this, dude, because he just shot Texas gun rights right in the fucking face with this whole post. Is what it is, dude. Figuratively speaking. Or I guess technically you might say shot him right in the bicep, Gage Grosskurt style. Which I find this very ironic too, because if I'm not mistaken, isn't this weekend like the fourth anniversary of Rittenhouse's self-defense against Grosskurtz, Huber, Rosenbaum, etc. So yeah, it seems like a real retarded thing to make like your fourth anniversary there, like going full retard, buddy. So anyway, Chad said about not being Kyle's guest. There's what it is. Said, reckon you can write in someone else. This will not be the way. This was not the way, bud. And this is what Rittenhouse actually said here.
Hi, I'm Kyle Rittenhouse, Outreach Director for Texas Gun Rights. A lot of people are upset that I said I'm going to be writing in Ron Paul for President of the United States. And that is true. I will be writing in Ron Paul. Unfortunately, Donald Trump had bad advisors.
By the way, you can see when look at his eyes right there. He's obviously reading off of like he has like the phone or whatever's in his hand filming is what it is. And it's either somebody standing right behind that with like a paper that he's like reading off of, or it's like something like attached to the phone, like an actual script he's reading off of is what it is there. Like this is obviously a scripted read is what he's doing right now.
Unfortunately, Donald Trump had bad advisors making him bad on the Second Amendment, and that is my issue. If you cannot be completely uncompromisable on the Second Amendment, I will not vote for you, and I will write somebody else in. We need champions for the Second Amendment, or our rights will be eaten away and eroded each day. I support my decision, and I have no take-backs.
So the thing is, it's not that I don't disagree with what Kyle's saying about, people not being essentially too absolute is what is there. The problem is, again, people, like, Trump is a 90s Democrat, for God's sakes. The dude never really gave a shit about the Second Amendment. People not understanding these things. For God's sakes, he was one of like only about 100 people or something like that actually had the right to legally carry a gun concealed in New York City. Because how many hoops you have to jump through and how much money you have to pay out the door to even get there at that time. To get your rights is what it is there in that fucking shithole city. So yeah, it's just fucking retarded what it is, dude. But the thing with Kyle is it's like, and as Chris Dorr, called him out here in a minute as well. I'm going to play that clip right now, but it's just ridiculous what it is, dude, because all you're doing is splitting the vote at that point. You're nothing more, nothing more than what Gunners of America did here recently, where they're just like, oh, we're just going to basically take our votes and have them nowhere is what it is then. It's like, that's stupid because you're literally going to cost elections, dude. And I'll tell you what, if Trump legitimately loses, which I don't think he can at this point, but let's go ahead and say, let's go ahead and say this election was completely fair. Kamala somehow gets a shitload of votes and wins legitimately, right? And it happens to be by like just a couple million people, then you could directly blame Gunners of America, Kyle Rittenhouse, etc. at that point, dude, by name. Because if they're going to take away voting blocks like that, because they're fucking idiots is what it is then. Instead of just being like, you know what, we understand y'all didn't make a really good platform here, but guess what? Here's the deal, people. Put us on as advisors. We'll write the fucking platform for you. That's what y'all need to be doing at this point, dude. Like, strike while the iron is hot. Seriously, people. Does it really take my fucking dumbass autistic ass at this point to be the one to tell you these things? Does it really take the autistic 39-year-old guy from Ohio to tell you these fucking things? Like, seriously. It does not take a genius to figure this out, dude. I'm not the smartest man in the world. Hell, I'm probably the smartest man in this room because I'm the only man in this room right now. But, like, seriously, though. It's ridiculous is what it is, dude. Yep. I unfortunately don't have my patch around me right now. But for those who don't know, gun websites, G-Webs. years ago, created a thing called Every Second Matters. He you can actually go to his site right now. I believe it's gunwebsites.com and buy patches and stuff from him there is what it is. Support him. He's actually a really good dude. As much as like, and again, I've had my own personal issues with him over the whole thing with the Guns and Barbecue fallout from a couple years ago. But the thing is, like, I'll still sit there and support G-Webs is what it is, dude, because he did a lot of good stuff for this country. Again, he was basically the predecessor of me at this point, honestly, dude. He was a guy who, on his own dime, went around this nation and tried to get people on board and tried to get gun rights issues passed in every single state he was in, basically. And he accomplished a lot, dude. He did a lot of stuff for rallies. He did a lot of stuff for speaking events, etc., all around this country, while literally driving around a van for like 3 years of his life is what it was. So, like, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the true everyday hardworking people that are behind the scenes like that, dude. It's whether it be gun websites, whether it be myself, here's what it is, that are working our asses off for years at a time, no pay whatsoever, no nothing, not even asking for a dime at this point. It's like, yeah, dude, we're the ones y'all should be supporting at this point, because we're the ones actually getting shit done. Not these fucking idiots like Dudley Brown, not these fucking idiots like Kyle Rittenhouse that are going to be like the faces of some bullshit is what it is, dude. And then be like, oh, I'm just going to take my vote elsewhere and suggest that people do the same, basically. It's like, that's fucking dumb, Kyle, and you're a fucking idiot, basically. I'll tell it like it is, dude. You were a fucking idiot, child. You were a fucking 21-year-old moron who only got famous, by the way, because you literally had to kill 2 people in self-defense in 2020 when you were at the age of 17. Because you were so fucking dumb that you weren't smart enough to actually not go to a goddamn rally of BLM and Antifa terrorism where they were literally burning a fucking city down. Ironically enough, the real ironic thing about the whole thing there is, had Rittenhouse not done that stuff, you would have never had law and order be restored in Kenosha, Wisconsin then. Because it wasn't until Kyle had to defend himself against a pedophile in Joseph Rosenbaum, who should have never been out of prison, by the way. He should have been locked in prison for the rest of his damn life at that point, if not executed publicly in this country, honestly, for the crimes committed against a bunch of boys between the ages of 9 and 11 years old, 5 of them specifically. It was also a violent threat behind bars, too, for that matter. I believe he was in Arizona, is what it was there. Rosenbaum was, and he was convicted. And, yeah, he was literally fighting people every single day when he was in prison there. He was a menace to fucking society, period, is what it was. And then, of course, you had, Anthony Hoover, who's just as much of a sack of shit, tried to beat Kyle's head in with a fucking skateboard is what it was there. And, of course, you had that piece of shit, Joshua Zeminski, kicked the whole thing off. So, and, of course, Gage Grosskreutz coming up on the thing with a handgun, and then got his, forearm or bicep area blown off then. So, you got to be more specific than that, man. I'm not sure what you're saying. Are you talking about Libertarian Party, that weird Chase guy? That's obviously that Chase dude. That's obviously a pedophile dude. That's Libertarian nominee this go around. So, but yeah, going back to Chad's comment there about Kyle. A couple people in the comment section. You got that Ian Miles Chong guy saying, "Never seen someone crash and burn so quickly." Amari King said, "Man, I texted Kyle. Not sure what's going on with him, but I think that Dudley guy has gotten into his head. Kyle is still young and impressionable." Well, and that's what it is, right? It's, you have a bunch of old-ass motherfuckers like Dudley Brown who are just scumbags trying to take advantage of a fucking 20-something-year-old kid right now is what it is, dude. And it makes sense, given that, a couple months ago, there was headlines coming out that Kyle's sisters are now doing GoFundMes because their entire family is supposedly broke right now is what it is. Which, again, that is really on Rittenhouse and his family at this point. Oh, yeah, Logan Paul. Yeah, fuck that guy. Yeah, like I said earlier, like, I will give him his props on calling out the dude that was beating up a biological woman, but fuck Logan Paul out of that, dude. He's a scumbag, sack of shit. Same thing with his brother Jake. Jake also came out and was like, oh, yeah, it's not cool for men to beat up women and stuff like that. And again, like, A broken clock is right twice a day, people. Legitimately, you know. Kind of like the thing with Kyle Rittenhouse here, honestly, dude. Like, broken clock is right twice a day, but it doesn't mean, you know, it's right any other time of the day, really, is what it is there. So, I'm not sure actually on that one. I know there was a few lawsuits against him. I know that Grosskreutz had one himself against Rittenhouse, as well as the city of Kenosha and the state of Wisconsin. I don't know if that would go through at all. I don't know if Rosenbaum's or Huber's people sued Rittenhouse or not. Like I said, the real problem with Rittenhouse's situation there is he needed to sue everybody at that point, dude. Like the second that he was acquitted back in, I think it was 2021 there, after that bullshit trial that was all shouldn't even happen to begin with, he should have immediately sued the shit out of the state of Wisconsin, the city of Kenosha, prosecutor Thomas Binger, his idiot fucking partner Kraus guy, who was like the other AD or whatever there. He should have sued the cops in Kenosha, like every single cop by name, especially one that maced him in the fucking face at that point, for, you know, various fucking bodily injury and stuff like that. He should have sued the fuck out of Tony Evers, the governor at the time. He should have sued pretty much, you know, the mayor of Kenosha, the, you know, deputy mayor, etc. There, he should have like I said, he should have sued everybody, dude. Police chief, mayor, vice mayor, governor, lieutenant governor, all of them, dude. State of Wisconsin, etc., etc. And just taking them for a fuck ton of money. Then on top of that, when those lawsuits started going through, he then should have started suing pieces of shit like Whoopi Goldberg by name at that point for her comments about him on The View that were all a bunch of slander and defamation and stuff like that. And then just kept going down that road, dude, and just, you know, millions here, and stuff like that. Lawsuit, and just continued rolling them into stuff to where he'd still be going through lawsuits right now against these people is what it is. But he still have some money in the coffers to keep suing everybody is what it is then. And I would honestly go further than that and say, hey, sue the fucking social media platforms for allowing these fucking scumbag leftists to sit there and defame you and claim that you murdered people and stuff like that, or that you killed, like, you know, minorities and stuff like that when you obviously didn't. So, like, basically that Nick Sandmann kid, you know, the one that got the drum beaten in his face there while smiling, and you see the show at NBC and then people like that. That's what Rittenhouse should have done, dude. He should have just sued the fuck out of everybody at that point. And I don't truly believe Rittenhouse is broke at this point because he has a regular job speaking for Turning Point USA and stuff like that, dude. And he's getting fees and appearance fees every single time he does one of those different events like that, dude. So, not to mention he's, you know, doing like book signings and stuff like that and selling books and shit. So, I don't truly believe that his family is broke entirely. I mean, they might be. I don't think he is. That was what it is. And again, it could be something where they're even fighting lawsuits against pieces of shit like Grosskreutz and stuff like that, for that matter. And again, this is why you sue the hell out of the mainstream media, is what it is, buddy. So, anyway. But continuing on here. Let's see. Chad Prather said, Kyle knows better. Should have talked to one of us. This guy named K. Wade said, Kyle just showed he's 20-something and lives in the same overly simplistic world as all 20-somethings. Hoped his experiences would have had him ahead of his peers in seeing how complex the world is, but I guess not. Oh, jeez. Somebody memed up Kyle as the woman that was crying back in 2020. That's messed up, bro. So, you know, you got Jesse James saying, care less how Kyle votes this November, but him using his platform of 1.2 million followers to try and influence other people not to vote for Trump is sickening. It is a betrayal to the country and to everyone that donated to him when he needed us. Very true entirely, dude. And I think, honestly, it really wasn't, like, the people that donated money to Rittenhouse's cause and stuff like that for the lawyer fees and everything like that, dude, it wasn't so much they were doing to Rittenhouse. It was they were doing to protect the Second Amendment entirely is what it was, dude, because that's the thing. Rittenhouse's case was case precedent, baby. 100%. Had it gone the other way, we would have been fucked as a country when it came to self-defense at all, dude. If Binger and those other pieces of shit leftist DAs had gotten their way, dude, Rittenhouse would be in prison right now for 25 to life, basically, and the right to self-defense would be out the fucking window entirely in this country. So, and then, of course, there's a picture of Trump and Rittenhouse before, back in the day. So, as people say, we support Trump, still with Trump, and we'll continue to stand with Trump. I'm assuming this is Rittenhouse and his family or whatever then. So, but yeah, it's just pretty disgusting to see Kyle talk out like that. Yeah, this was the other post I was talking about with Kyle supposedly being broke there. Rittenhouse's family claims they are broke. As his sister's post, a GoFundMe says Faith Rittenhouse reveals that her family has been unable to find work since her brother was involved in a shooting incident that was as of June of this year. I'm assuming Faith is the chick in the glasses there. Which, I'm sorry, but that in and of itself is fucked up because it's like, if people are not going to hire you because of that, or they're even going to fire you because of that, dude, like, you could sue the shit out of them for wrongful termination or even biased employment or something like that's what it is then. Like, there's laws in the books right now you can take them to court on that one, dude, for not hiring you because, oh, you'd be like a liability or some shit like that's what it is there. But yeah, as this Joey guy was saying, he said, Rittenhouse took the support of MAGA and Donald Trump, but now is completely turning on him to, quote, write in a candidate in 2024 after all the movement has done for him. Absolutely disgusted by this kid. And then this Smith Radio said, yeah, with you, Joey, obviously the dim-witted wing of the Libertarian Party got a hold of him. I see why I am problem with libertarianism is that they believe it's an all-or-nothing position. They won't take any gains unless it's all their demands. And that's the problem with the left entirely, dude. It's the same thing with the fucking left. You know? It's all or nothing for those people, except in those cases, they'll take a small win is what it is. You know, if they can fuck over gun rights in one state, they'll do it. You know, it doesn't need to be nationwide at this point. So it's just fucked up in general, dude. But anyway. Gonna go over a couple more things. I want to going back to Chris Dorr from Ohio Gunners. In this case, it was another org he's part of, which is American Firearms Association, AFA. His family, that's the thing about, I'm going to do a little backstory on Chris Dorr real quick and his family. So for those who don't know, Chris Dorr and his brothers and father, they basically originated, and I believe it was either Minnesota or one of those other M states up there, like around Minnesota, whatever it is there, maybe Montana or something. And so they started out by like actually being like legit grassroots to begin with. And then of course, you know, money became a whole thing and it became the whole, you know, absolute power corrupts absolutely kind of things that it is there. And so since then, they've all branched out into various, you know, places around the country. Because I want to say he has either 2 or 3 brothers and then their father. So it's either 4 or 5 of them together that are doing like different orgs around this country. And so basically you have Dorr who does Ohio Gunners, Chris Dorr does Ohio Gunners, and then there's like a Pennsylvania org too, and I think there's one in Michigan as well that he does. It's like a tri-state kind of thing, whatever the case be, or Indiana, somewhere in there. And then some of his other brothers do like, you know, the same thing around their states. It's like their main state, and it's like 2 other like adjacent states basically. And most of the thing, they'll do like little wins here and there. You know, they'll get a piece of legislation passed in the state, like, you know, stand your ground or something like that, or some variation of stand your ground for that matter. And then they'll basically, you know, strike while the iron's hot kind of thing and be like, hey, look, we did this for you guys. Now donate to our causes and stuff like that. And I swear to God, dude, like if you actually subscribe to these people's websites and stuff like that and are on their email list, bro, dude, it's like every fucking 3rd email or something from Chris Dorr and his people at that point is basically, oh, we noticed you haven't re-upped for this quarter. You should probably donate to us now. And it's like, I'm not giving you a dime, asshole. Fuck off. Like, seriously. And then the other 2 emails on top of that, it's all fear-mongering bullshit in most cases. You know? It's like, oh my God, the radical left in Columbus are coming after our gun rights again with this fucking House bill or that U.S. or that state Senate bill or whatever it is there. And in reality, when you look into the shit, dude, it's like, yeah. And they have to be heard, you idiot, because the way that our fucking General Assembly works, up to a certain point. And that's exactly why these first hearings were happening with what you call it. That's why I got so pissed that one time when I called up Bob Peterson's office, and then it wasn't until I was informed by his main aide chick there, so it was, of, hey, until like this certain time period of Ohio's year, they have to hear like every single one of these bills that's submitted before that is what it is, at least the first hearing. And then she straight up informed me, she's like, no, we're not doing any anti-gun legislation this year. It's all just these first hearings, and that's it. Because we have to do the first hearings. If we didn't have to do the first hearings, we wouldn't do the fucking hearings at all, is what it is then. So, and that's the problem with these fear-mongering ass, so-called pro-choice orgs out there is what it is. It's all a money grift for them in most cases, what it is there. So, I don't remember that. You got to send me a link on that one. I know that Hoover's chick actually gave him her number. That was pretty funny. So, anyway. But, yeah, this is Chris Dorr from Hog Gunners and American Firearms Association. This is his response to Rittenhouse's situation there.
We want to address something really quickly here about this whole Kyle Rittenhouse situation. Here's the brass tacks. Gun owners have 90 days left, guys. 90 days until this election is here. And there are two people on the ballot, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Nobody else matters. No other parties matter. No other candidates matter. No other candidates from the early...
So I gotta point something out on that one before I go on further with this whole thing. So technically Kamala's not even on the ballot right now, buddy. The state of Ohio literally had to do a special session the other day to even potentially put her on the ballot right now, because the stupid ass fucking DNC takes place after our ballots are already checked in. So,
candidates matter. Other candidates from the early 2000s matter anymore. It's Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris. So here's what we need to do. Gun owners from every walk of life, from every party, from every faction, whether they've used a gun in a self-defense situation or not, must unite all the way across the board to stop Kamala Harris's gun confiscation agenda from ever being implemented.
Damn right.
Full stop. She has told all of America in the last week that she wants nothing less than the total destruction of our Second Amendment. She wants AR-15 bans. She wants a national red flag gun confiscation law. She wants mandatory gun buybacks. She wants government jackboots kicking down your doors and taking away your ability to stay free. Never Trump dumbasses like Kyle's groomer here, Dudley Brown from the National Association of Gun Rights, are total fools who cannot see what time it is in America. They should be ignored completely and totally. We cannot afford to get sidetracked by that kind of stupid foolishness. Kyle, fix this F up. Dudley, go away and never come back. And gun owners, like President Trump said with his fist in the air, it's time to fight.
So, while Chris Dorr talks a good game, here's a fun fact about Chris Dorr. So, I don't know if I mentioned this before or not. My mind's kind of fraying right now because I'm very tired. So 5 years ago, I was part of a group called Stark Stays United. We were an offshoot of a group called Ohio Stays United, which claimed to be for two-way sanctuary. Of course, the guy that created that group actually turned tail when he got enough people behind him, and then turned out that it was nothing more than a fucking grift for that piece of shit Joe Jorgensen and the Libertarian Party at that point. And fuck that asshole from Cincinnati there. I don't know what the guy's name is offhand. Basically, like half the fucking group at that time, though, was all BLM and Antifa terrorists in the state of Ohio, basically. At that point, it's a fucking wall. It is what it is. A bunch of leftist cocksuckers and cunts and everything else like that. Point is, though, Stark Stays United, distanced ourselves from Ohio Stays United completely. Did our thing. We were the ones getting shit done here, going to different counties, Meigs County, all those counties down there in the, like right on the belt there between Ohio and West Virginia. Got all those guys on board. We were about, I think, 8 or 9 counties in for two-way sanctuary stuff at that point, to have all these county commissioners sign off on two-way sanctuary stuff at a county level. To where dipshit Chris Dorr walks in the fucking door then and thinks to himself, hey, wait a minute. These people are actually grassroots and aren't taking a dime for their efforts, and I can't make money off of this. Hey, county commissioners, and I believe it was Meigs County at the time, please rescind this 2A sanctuary thing. And then within like a year of that, Chris Dorr was in Washington, D.C. talking to Marjorie Taylor Greene, used her nationwide version of 2A sanctuary and brought that back to Ohio, and then started working with Ohio General Assembly members at the time that were Republicans, getting it put on the ballot initially there, or really, I guess, in the really the ballot. It'd be within legislative seasons what it is there to get potentially passed through. And then when he realized he could make money off of it, then he was all on board. Yet meanwhile, while he wasn't on board, he was actively fucking people like me over who were grassroots at that point. So yeah, Chris Dorr's hypocrite sack of shit, dude. He can go fuck himself too as well on that one. I'm not going to sit there and say what he just said in that minute and a half or so clip there is not correct. But he's a hypocrite douchebag either way. And, I would personally like an apology from him at this point. Like, if I ever meet that guy in real life, I'm going to fucking demand an apology from my camera at that point, dude. Be like, hey, why'd you fuck us over 5 years ago, dude? Seriously. And they'd be like, I didn't try to fuck you over. It's like, bullshit you didn't, dude. You literally went to the county commissioners and told them to do away with the 2A sanctuary thing they just passed because your ass cannot make money off of it. It's as simple as that. That is grifting every fucking way every way you slice it, man. For real. It's bullshit is what it is, dude. So. And that's the issue with a lot of these people, dude. They are all fucking scumbags. Like, almost every single one of these groups, dude. All that matters to them, like, yes, and I do believe that in some cases Chris Dorr is, somewhat pro 2A or whatever the case. Because we no compromise. But they don't compromise is what it is. The thing is, though, it's like, you gotta take the win, bro. And I think that's what Dorr realized. I think that's what the family realizes is like, any win is a win, basically, at this point. And that's the way I feel about it, honestly, dude. Like, you can sit there and say you're no compromise and stuff like that. And if you actually stand by that, like, good on you and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, are you really that retarded to lose probably the biggest race of our entire lives at this point as a presidential race currently because you want to be a bunch of assholes? And I'm talking to you, Gunners of America, at this point. Because you want to be a bunch of assholes taking away an entire voter block for your own selfish reasons, what it is there, dude. When you could literally go to Donald Trump, maybe not directly because of all the secret source around it now is what it is there, but even maybe make a call out to J.D. Vance for that matter, even, dude, and use him as like the go-between or whatever the case be, and be like, hey, we understand that you guys, don't have, the correct platform for the Second Amendment at this point. Let us be the people that create this shit for you. Be those guys, dude. Be what fucking Bloomberg, Everytown, Moms Demand, Giffords, etc. is to Kamala at this point, dude. Be the people in the room with a fucking chair at the damn table, making sure that the Second Amendment stays intact for another 200 plus years. That's the entire point. Again, it should not take a autistic man from Ohio to tell you these things. It should be something that should be common sense to you at this point as a supposedly pro-2 organization. But apparently it does take me calling you out on that one, though. Again, if I had the money right now, I'd do it myself, dude. I'd be like, you know what? Fuck all these people. I'm going to do open up there, dude. I'm going to fucking do a Hypocrite Education Network as the fucking go-to is what it is there. Or just, at that point, it would just be Patriot Education Network, I guess. It would just be Penn. But that's the entire point, though, right? It is a whole thing to have pro-2A groups being in control of the narrative to defend and ensure the Second Amendment for future generations. I've said it many, many times. There's a reason why I'm running for politics at some point in the future. It is not because I want to make money and be a career politician. Far from it. I want to cement a legacy of greatness. I want to cement a legacy for future generations to look upon and be like, hey, that guy over there planted the tree whose shade we are now sitting under. That is what I want to do. And that is what everybody should want to do. It should be the old men planting trees whose shade they will never sit under. And if you're not down for that, if you're not all about that, then you're part of the fucking problem 100%. And you can fuck off, legitimately. Anyway. To finish up today's stream, we're going to go on and talk about this one here is what it is, which is that Dom Lucre guy talking about that piece of shit Dudley Brown. So exposed, Kyle Rittenhouse has been working with Rocky Mountain Gunners, a gun lobby run by serial Trump hater Dudley Brown. It says Rocky Mountain Guns, a Colorado affiliate of the National Association for Gun Rights. National organization helped fund Rittenhouse amid his legal case when he was in trouble. It says Rittenhouse announcement for not voting for Trump was actually posted by Dudley Brown first. This post is still on Rittenhouse's page. It says this company has a history of spending tens of thousands of dollars against pro-Trump candidates. It says Rittenhouse has spoken for Rocky Mountain Gunners at multiple venues and events. He is even seen wearing their shirt during his speeches and appearances. It says just go to Dudley Brown's Twitter page and search Kyle. After that, search Trump. Dom said, I personally believe Rittenhouse is being taken advantage of. He was young, easy to control, and in need of help. Whoever paid his debts are stilling. I think he wrote that wrong. Asking for interest in his opinion and voice has been manipulated into forcing him to push things he doesn't believe in. Says everything Rittenhouse said in the video looks like a tweet from Dudley Brown. Brown is even present in promotional footage that isn't hosted by Rocky Mountain Gunners. Is this random? You be the judge. And they got Rittenhouse there is what it is. The Texas play shoot thing. There's Chad Prather. There's this idiot Dudley Brown right there. Some other guy. Back to Rittenhouse. There's Dudley Brown doing Rittenhouse's speech. There's what it is. Now let's see what this says. Dudley Brown said, yet Trump says the Florida abortion restrictions are harsh. Guy doesn't even know what he believes. Dudley Brown, be careful what you wish for, GOP. Just like the Dems wanted Trump on the November ballot, if you want to win, you do not want the Dem party to replace the bumbling Biden. And then continues on from there, basically. Says, you mean bringing the Fat Cat Union mobster boss on stage at the keynote isn't conservative. Next thing you'll tell me is Trump's endorsement of red flags laws is off message. That was him responding to Matt Walsh on the 16th of last month saying, you guys can get mad at me for saying it, but the first day of the convention was totally absurd and very bad omen for things to come. Trump has never had more momentum or goodwill, and the RNC decided, okay, that's what he was talking about with that, was it Amber Rose, I believe is what it is, which, by the way, Matt Walsh can fuck off on that whole thing, dude, because, again, like, if Amber Rose brings an entire voter block that may have not even voted ever in their lives, dude, to be voting for Trump for the first time, as first-time voters, like, that's a good thing, people. The whole point is we fucking win the race. We take the presidency, people, for God's sakes. Like, you don't understand that. Like, that's the problem with pieces of shit like Dudley Brown, dude, are a bunch of fucking scumbags. So, yeah. Dudley's just a piece of shit in general, dude. I fucking hate that guy. I've hated him since I fucking learned who the hell he was, honestly, dude. So... going to the comment section here. This Trent guy was talking about how he was attacked by that dipshit Dudley Brown. Because this Trent guy was wearing a Sexiest Man Alive shirt and it was a picture of Trump on it. And Dudley saying it was the gayest shirt ever. And then Dudley giving shit to Trent about being a congressional candidate. And what the fuck have you ever done, Dudley? Oh, yeah, that's right. Literally embezzle a bunch of money, motherfucker. Like, seriously, people realize the act blue stuff going on right now, dude. Like, Dudley Brown's org should probably be investigated for the same shit, dude. Rico Act stuff is what it is. So, yeah, the guy's a sack of shit is what it is, dude, for real. So, anyway. If I had any connection to that guy at all, I'd distance myself immediately from that man. And that message goes out to everybody out there, dude, whether it be Honda or everybody else for that matter. So, anyway. Let's see here now. That's funny. Sorry, I was watching this little video of this cat asking for milk. The guy's giving it to him straight from the tap. Let's go ahead and watch this real quick then. Cat sitting like a human. It's like, hey, give me something to drink, man. It's like, come on, buddy. It's funny. You gotta love it, man. So, anyway. Oh, by the way, that one's really fucked up, too. So, y'all remember that Jonathan Lewis kid? I believe this happened in Vegas. He was the white guy who got involved in. It was his friend that was basically being like beat up originally, or whatever the case being, like stepped in to like try to stop the fight is what it was. And then you had these fucking 4 piece of shit minorities right here beat him to death. The fucking piece of shit DA and the asshole judge in the case have now tried these little cunts as juveniles instead of fucking adults for both murder and a hate crime. And they're now giving them slaps on the wrist is what it is, dude. For literally killing this guy. For literally stomping him to death. There really is no justice in this country anymore, dude. I'm gonna say it like it fucking is right now. Like, I am so pissed right now about the whole thing, dude. So. Oh, this was a good one, too. You had this idiot yesterday post a video talking about how, as of Thursday, the EBT system was down nationwide and people are paying money to go to Walmart and get rides from friends, and they can't use their fucking food stamps to go buy food. Here's a wild idea. Get a fucking job and pay for it in cash, bitch, like the rest of us. Stop being a goddamn welfare queen / king. And yeah, pretty much the entirety of the internet was dragging that guy in the comment section. It was a bunch of folks being like, wouldn't know I was working for 12 hours a day for the last 2 weeks. Or something like that. So, yeah. And that's the entire point, man. But it doesn't owned by the welfare system entirely. It's actually owned by Chase. The EBT card system is what it is. And yeah, you have all they have to do is flip a switch and it can turn off all the cards at one shot, which they did back in 2013 under Obama's administration as a test run for about, I think it was 3 or 4 days to see what people would do. And shocker, a whole bunch of black folks that were on the welfare system, there's what it was, went to different Walmarts and Targets and everything else like that, filled up a shitload of carts full of food, knowing they couldn't pay a dime of it, and tried to walk out with a fucking whole cartload of food is what it was then. And then when the system finally came back on, and they found out, oh, you got 23 cents on your fucking EBT card is what it is, they just sat there, walked away from the carts, and walked out the door, and cost the stores that they did that shit in tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost products, because everything was melting, everything was thawing out, etc. Because it was a lot of ice cream that they were buying. It was a lot of other kinds of junk food, various frozen pizzas, etc. that were thawing out. You know, TV dinners, all that stuff like that. Like basically all kinds of junk you wouldn't want to have to eat. Because that's the problem with a lot of EBT in general. Is what it is, dude. Like, I know it was, I don't know if it's more than this now, but I know it was like about 15, 20 years ago, the entire food stamp system, the reason that junk food companies like Nabisco and stuff like that support it is what it is is because at that point in time in history, 50 cents of every dollar, so half of every dollar, went to their products basically, into chips, cookies, snack cakes, etc. There's what it is. So, yeah. But anyway. But yeah, this was the dude being dragged by the comment section. Then is what it is. Where all the people in the comments were like, "Didn't notice, been at work. Wouldn't know. I pay cash. I didn't get a chance to notice. Been working 11-hour days for years. Worked 14 hours today. Didn't have time to go to Walmart. Husband and I are working. Wouldn't know. Those of us with jobs didn't even notice." We got the bottom one that says, "Just seeing this. Just seeing this because I was working all day today. Imagine that." And you got people need to take they bragging ass to work. Got another guy saying, "Get off your ass and work then." Had no idea. Guess I was busy working my ass off. And somebody else just laughing. Somebody else is saying, "Well, isn't that just sad?" Yeah, tired of paying for you is what somebody else said. Meaning to the guy there is what it is. Yeah. 4 freeloaders is what somebody else said there. And see, that's the point. That's the problem, though, too, right? And that's what's even more fucked up. Like, let's go ahead and talk about electronic benefit systems, what it is, or food stamps, if you will. So, as a man in the state of Ohio right now, if I were to go apply to be on the stuff, 3 months is what I get. And then at that point, if I'm considered to be a eligible, workable male, basically is what they call us, or something like that's what it is, I immediately kick up the system if I can go work, basically. Yet, with how crippled I am, I obviously can't work, but yet I still don't qualify. And it was back during 2020. Yeah, it was either 2021 or 2022 is what was there. Where I was literally in bed, almost dying of COVID, missed a fucking appointment by these people because I was on at the time or whatever. And they're like, "Oh, well, you could still be a workable male now." And it's like, dude, I was literally in bed like a day ago, almost dying. What the fuck are you talking about? And of course, since then, my health's gotten even worse since then is what it is now. But yeah, I still don't qualify. But yet, God forbid if I was some bitch in this state right now, all I gotta do is pop a fucking kid out, or even just be pregnant with a child for that matter, and I get everything. I get WIC, I get EBT, I get everything like that, dude, as a female. It's so fucked up, dude. It's such a double fucking standard is what it is. And what's even worse is, and I've talked about this many times before, is you will have these women in the state of Ohio and other states for that matter, that they understand just how to work the system enough, which is basically after a certain amount of time, I think it's somewhere between like 18 months and like 2.5 years, give or take. After a child is born, they get cut off. And so what they'll do is, whether it be 1 baby daddy, 2 baby daddies, 3 baby daddies, 4 baby daddies, whatever the case be is, 4 or 5 kids with 4 or 5 different guys, what it is there. Every 18 months to 2.5 years, give or take, they will end up pregnant with another child then, to remain on the system is what it is. That's the problem with our system entirely, dude. And I've said before, I'll say it again, dude. If you're going to have kids on the fucking welfare system, you're asking to be cut off immediately at that point, dude. No ifs, ands, or buts. Take your fucking lazy ass back to work, bitch. Because you obviously don't need the shit. If you're sitting there specifically having kids just to stay on the damn system is what it is then. So, anyway. But yeah, that's about it for today, though. Yeah, it's almost always a different guy every single time. There was one I was talking about this a couple years ago. Actually, there was one chick I was on. I was looking on OkCupid one time, and there was this woman who she had just given birth to a kid like 6 or 7 weeks before that, and this was like her 3rd or 4th child with like at least 3 different dudes, and was bitching and moaning about like, well, I know it didn't work out with them, but looking for a good man now. If you want to be that man, then I still have, close personal connections with the baby daddies of the other kids. It's like, then go fucking work it out with one of them, you dirty hoe. Like, seriously. And first off, get the fuck off the internet and dating sites where you're nursing a fucking child, bitch. Like, goddamn. So, anyway. But yeah, other than that, though, that's pretty much where I'm at for the day, though. I'm just, like I said, sick and tired of all of it, dude. Especially when you have generational welfare recipients in this country, which should never be a thing, by the way. The same thing with queer politicians, for that matter. So, but yeah, anyway. Kyle is definitely, Rittenhouse is definitely being led astray by pieces of shit like Dudley Brown. He needs to basically wake the fuck up or fuck the fuck off is what it is, dude. You know? And it's funny that you look back at, that movie, The Dark Knight, where it was Two-Face's character in that saying the line, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And that's exactly what happened with Rittenhouse here. He was the hero initially by defending himself against a pedophile, a wife beater, and some other fucking felons. Had to go to court, had to basically be traumatized, got connected with the wrong people who were supposedly backing him financially, is what it is there. And is now being used by these people. It's not being groomed by these people to say dumbass, retarded bullshit. And potentially, take an entire voter block away from the guy who needs to fucking win this race no matter what, being Donald Trump. So, yeah. Well, and that's also a problem too. And it really wasn't that he needed to go to college. He just needed to be, smarter than that is what it was. He really needed to go to like a trade school or something like that and learn to trade is what it was, dude. Because he would have been a great like welder, plumber, any kind of tradesman for that matter, any kind of journeyman. Maybe doing like big construction vehicles and stuff like that, or something like that would be then. Help gold mining in Alaska or something like that with Parker Schnabel and shit would have been cool. But are any of those guys really from the Gold Rush series? But no, Kyle decided to, move on and do speaking engagements, stuff like that now, and then, acting like he's a two-way absolutist when he really doesn't know a damn thing about what it is, dude. Like, all he knew is fucking, don't die tonight is what it is. 4 years ago, which actually, I'm trying to think. I'm going to go check that before we go today, actually, because I believe, I want to say this weekend is Kyle's 4th anniversary for defending himself. I do want to check that out, though. So. Oh, no, I guess I'm wrong. It's the end of the month. Yeah, it was the 25th. The 25th of 2020. August 25th, 2020. So, yeah. So we're just under 4 years right now. So, yeah, it'll be 3 weeks from Sunday will be Rittenhouse's 4th anniversary of self-defense. So, yeah. It's a fucked up situation all the way around, dude. And like I said, the ironic thing is, obviously, with, whether it be Joseph Rosenbaum, Anthony Huber, et cetera, there, had any of those guys just chosen to stay the fuck home that night, they would still be alive. They would still be uninjured to this day is what it is. But instead, they chose to go be a bunch of terrorist pieces of shit out there, and they fucked around and found out. So, it is what it is. But yeah, other than that, though, I am so fucking tired right now. So, I'm going to go take like a 2-hour nap. And hopefully get, I don't know, is Carhartt trending right now? Let us find out. Let's see. Show more. Let's see, trending. Let's go to the trending page for you. Here's what it is. So you got fresh news. Kyle meeting Rittenhouse, also trending Kenosha. Emily, whoever the hell that is. Game Informer with GameStop. Ron Paul is trending 5th right now because of Kyle. Money sign, BC coin. Guessing that'll be like Bitcoin probably. 4x 400. Frusit Friday. Skip, Morocco, Britt Baker, which obviously is related to AEW Wrestling. World Record, Big Sean, Mike Fist. Catcherd is trending because he was talking about Rittenhouse going to go fuck himself, basically. Chip in for teachers. Bill Barr, James Baldwin, Quinn Cook. Second Amendment is 20th right now. Adeline Impact. Let's see. Egypt, Big Ten. Nope, don't see it in the top 30 there. So I'm going to stop sharing for the Second Amendment for a minute here because I want to make sure I can screen these posts before I say anything about it. Okay, people calling out Rittenhouse for the Second Amendment stuff here. So you got top guy here saying, "We will not have a Second Amendment in this country if Trump isn't elected. Rittenhouse, you are abandoning Trump because he, quote, isn't 2A enough," and writing in Ron Paul, "Traitor, this is a vote for Kamala and the Democrats." Then you got this chick saying, "We lost Kyle Rittenhouse over the Second Amendment. This was not on my bingo card. Good Friday, y'all." Marjorie Taylor Greene parody saying, "Fucking hate rhino traitors. Every one of them will be exposed for who they are." Rittenhouse turns his back on Trump and MAGA by announcing he's not voting for him. Who else is tired of rhino traitors taking advantage of the MAGA party? So here's the thing about Rittenhouse, though, right? Like, do people not like? I swear to God, dude, people's memory is like a fucking goldfish anymore. Do people not remember after Rittenhouse's self-defense, he was literally still supporting Black Lives Matter, people, a terrorist organization in this country? Like, are you really that fucking dense? The kid's family were default Democrats, bro. For real. Like, he was never fucking MAGA. Like, all he did was defend himself with a gun in a place he probably shouldn't even been in the first place. Neither should anybody else, for that matter. So, people were talking about Venezuela disarming their people since 2012. Let's see what else people were saying here. Oh, shit. See, the CCG Bryson guy said, "Feel betrayed because we helped Rittenhouse, and all this time I was under the impression that you supported Rittenhouse for being prosecuted by the media after defending himself using Second Amendment like decent people, but no, it was because of Trump, huh?" Yeah, that is kind of fucked up, by the way. I will say that about the whole thing, dude. So, yeah, as this guy said here, he said, "Rittenhouse is not voting for Trump, stays throwing away a vote in an attempt to protect Second Amendment. You won't like this backlash, bro. Better fire whoever advisors came up with this strategy. Complete fail." Yeah. Yeah, it's a dumbass move. This Ron guy is a fucking leftist cunt, too, by the way. He's just a total asshole in general. And you got Dorr saying it now. Let's see. Reaction to Rittenhouse saying he'll be voting Ron Paul instead of Trump. He's a fucking idiot, dude. Let's see. We got this one that says, "Shock. Rittenhouse has said goodbye to MAGA and turned his back on Trump just weeks after the failed attempt on Trump's life. Reportedly, he's aligned himself with never Trumper named Dudley Brown. Kamala Harris will be a nightmare for Second Amendment." Yeah, yes it will. Yes it will. Ron Paul's Second Amendment stance is Rittenhouse wearing an apron. Yeah, probably. Let's see, honestly, these so-called bastions of the right can get fucked. Don't have a Second Amendment if the country if Trump doesn't get in. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Retreat before brandishing weapon. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh yeah, there is something else I want to talk about before we leave today. So apparently there's a guy here in Ohio who is literally trying to jack people's shit with either a fake gun or a real gun. I'm guessing it's a fake gun. Near Summit County, which is the county like right up from me is what it is. Near Akron there is what it is. And this is what somebody was saying about this jerk off earlier here. It said, don't deal with this guy. I think it's the guy in the hoodie right now. If I didn't carry my weapon, I would have been robbed today. Said I met this dude at a BP to sell him shoes, and he flashed like a gun at me and said to get back. He was taking my son's shoes, but when he seen I had a real gun, he threw my shoes out the window. Contacted through Facebook Marketplace. So, yeah. Well, the problem I have with that is, dude, okay, if that dude is, like, legit brandishing on you, bro, shoot him in the fucking head. Like, seriously. Kill his ass in self-defense. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Somebody fucking flashes a gun at me, that is a fucking threat to my life, and I will put your fucking ass down at that point, bitch. Especially if you're trying to jack me over some fucking shit I'm trying to sell on a fucking, like, buy-sell trade site or whatever there, dude. Fuck that shit. Like, seriously, we are a stand your ground state, people. Fucking use it. Understand that shit. So. Let me check it out real quick. Jump over to YouTube side since I can't click on the links otherwise. Alright, what the fuck are we at right now? I seriously hurting right now. No. So what is this thing here? Alternative clothing company of business American values. Concealed carry quilted vest by Keneshaw and Carhartt? Huh.
Yeah. So, you know,
That's interesting. I'm not gonna lie, dude, that thing looks gay as shit. Like, it really does look fucking gay. Like, you want to talk about not being a gray man? Like, wear this dumbass vest that everybody's gonna know has, like, pockets in it for you to carry a gun in. Like, nah, dude, just walk around with a fucking hoodie and put a gun in the pocket or something like that. Or better yet, actually just, like, put it in another different pocket in a pocket holster, or, you know, attach it to your belt somehow is what it is. Either inside or outside the waistband. And carry that way. So, anyway. But yeah. I don't know. That's just weird. Weird shit for sure. That was January of last year that was first shown. Yeah, that's very strange, man. I don't know. Whatever. I'm gonna go check my my order stuff right now because I'm supposed to be getting a package here pretty soon. Should be my salt coming in here. Let's see if my stuff is now en route or not here. Okay, so the mail did come in my packages here for my salt, so be getting that momentarily. All right. So, actually, I got two packages. I got the salt. I got something else coming that I'm the next stop on right now. So I got the package of salt and the thing, and I got the Amazon truck heading my way currently is what it is for the other thing. So this works out perfectly. I can put my pants, I can put my my shoes on, and walk outside to go grab the stuff out of the whatchamacallit there, and then literally go to the back door and get the other thing out of the deal there is what it is here in about 2 minutes or so. So yeah, on that one I'm gonna call it a day. I'll see you guys on the next one. that thing with the Facebook Marketplace thing is exactly why I always say, dude, you always got to be carrying. Be ready to defend yourself no matter what. Your life is way more important than some piece of shit criminals. If they're going to fuck around like that, then you need to find out what it is legitimately, dude. So, yeah. Be armed, stay armed, and be ready legitimately. Because now is the time to protect yourself, especially with all the crazy shit going on in this country. You never know when it's going to be a gang of motherfuckers from the third world trying to attack and kill you and your family. You're not defending against those people is what it is. And it's as simple as that, really. So, anyway. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one. Later.